The War of 1812 is one of the most misunderstood and overlooked conflicts in American history. Fought between the United States and Great Britain from June 1812 to February 1815, it was often dubbed America's Second War of Independence. Though it lacked the territorial redrawing or dramatic treaties of other conflicts, the war had immense implications. It was about more than military engagements. It was a fight for respect, sovereignty, and the young nation's right to exist free from European interference. In the years leading up to the war, America found itself squeezed between two global powers, France and Britain. Britain, locked in war with Napoleonic France, had imposed restrictions on American shipping and began impressing American sailors into the Royal Navy. This, alongside British support for Native American resistance in the frontier, inflamed American grievances. President James Madison, under pressure from war hawks in Congress, called for action. On June 18, 1812, the United States declared war on Great Britain. Many thought it would be quick and decisive, but it would prove far more complex. The initial American strategy focused on invading Canada under the belief that it was vulnerable and poorly defended. General William Hull led the first invasion from Detroit but surrendered the city without a fight, a demoralizing blow to American forces. Subsequent invasions, including battles at Queenston Heights and Stony Creek, also failed. Canadian militias, British regulars, and Native American warriors, most notably led by Tecumseh, resisted fiercely, yet at sea the U.S. saw unexpected success. The USS Constitution defeated the HMS Guerriere in a stunning victory that boosted morale. Smaller American ships won several one-on-one battles, proving the U.S. Navy was no pushover on the Great Lakes. Control was vital. Commodore Oliver Hazard Perry's victory at the Battle of Lake Erie in 1813 allowed the U.S. to reclaim Detroit and win the Battle of the Thames, where Tecumseh was killed. His death shattered the Native Confederacy in the Northwest. After Napoleon's defeat in 1814, Britain turned its full attention to the American War. It launched a three-pronged invasion from Canada into New York, through the Chesapeake Bay, and via the Gulf of Mexico. In August 1814, British troops under General Robert Ross marched on Washington. They met weak resistance at the Battle of Bladensburg, then entered the capital. The British burned the White House, the Capitol, and other key buildings. It was a humiliating moment for the young republic. But in September, American defenders at Fort McHenry in Baltimore repelled a massive British bombardment. As dawn broke, the U.S. flag still flew over the fort. Watching from a ship, lawyer Francis Scott Key penned the poem that became the Star-Spangled Banner. In the western frontier, Native American tribes allied with Britain to resist U.S. expansion. Tecumseh's Confederacy was the centerpiece of this resistance. His charisma and leadership gave tribes a unified voice against encroachment. The war brought devastating consequences. After his death at the Battle of the Thames, Native resistance weakened. U.S. forces destroyed villages, crops, and alliances. The Battle of Horseshoe Bend in the south saw Andrew Jackson defeat the Creek Nation, forcing vast land cessions. Britain's defeat and withdrawal meant Native tribes lost their strongest ally. The U.S. quickly pushed further west, accelerating displacement and broken treaties. In late 1814, the British targeted the Gulf of Mexico, hoping to capture New Orleans and control the Mississippi River. Andrew Jackson, now a major general, led the defense with a ragtag army of militia, pirates, freed slaves, and regular soldiers. On January 8, 1815, British troops launched a frontal assault across open ground. Jackson's forces, entrenched and ready, inflicted massive casualties. The British lost over 2,000 men. American losses were fewer than 100. It was a stunning, lopsided victory. Ironically, the battle took place after the peace treaty had been signed, but news hadn't yet reached New Orleans. Still, the victory made Jackson a national hero and gave Americans a triumphant symbol to close the war. Negotiations to end the war began in Ghent, Belgium, in August 1814. Both sides had endured enough. Britain was weary from European wars, and America had suffered economically. The Treaty of Ghent, signed on December 24, 1814, restored all territorial conquests to pre-war lines. It didn't resolve maritime issues like impressment, but those faded after Napoleon's defeat. Though technically a draw, Americans viewed it as a victory. They had survived another war with Britain, and this time without foreign aid. The war unified Americans. From diverse backgrounds, soldiers had fought under one flag. The national anthem was born, and the idea of America as a singular, sovereign entity took hold. The Federalist Party, which opposed the war, was discredited after the Hartford Convention. The Democratic, Republicans dominated politics for the next decade. The era of good feelings began, emphasizing national unity and growth. The war exposed America's military weaknesses. In response, the government strengthened the Navy, modernized the Army, and invested in coastal defenses. For Native Americans, the war was catastrophic. Without British support, tribal resistance crumbled. The U.S. rapidly expanded west, seizing lands and forcing removals. Oddly, the war set the stage for peace. The U.S. and Britain entered a long period of friendly relations. The Rush-Bagot Agreement demilitarized the Great Lakes. By mid-century, the two nations were strong trade partners. The War of 1812 began in confusion and ended in pride. It lacked a clear victor, but delivered enduring consequences. It tested the resilience of the United States, reshaped its politics, shattered native coalitions, and proved that the Republic could stand on equal footing with European powers. Often forgotten or overshadowed, the war remains a defining moment in America's journey toward becoming a confident, independent nation.